welcome back. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. As I promised, it's about the land decree that was passed last week. It's not only land, it's about mining as well. It's about the rural areas. When I first, like I said, look at the title, watch the title, I was like, no, 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 our captain, don't do this. They will hate you. Don't do that. It just like the title is telling us that the government will take over the land. I said, no. They do this in some other countries that nobody has right except the government. But then when I work on it, I understand it better. It's about the foreigners that goes to Africa, buy land, and then they own it entirely. We all know what is going on nowadays when it comes to the Arabs. They are using climate change as an excuse to be buying 20%, 30%, some 10%, some even 35% of a whole entire country. Yes, when I first heard the news early last year, I didn't believe it. So I went and did a bit of research, found out, and I made a video. It's about a year ago. It's on the channel. I said, wow. So, first of all, I'm sorry, this is sensitive. We sold our people 100 years, some 100 years ago. And then now we are selling a percentage of our lands to other people in the name of climate change. So one day, if they come and put padlock and said, they will definitely fence it. Yes, don't come to this area. This area belongs to the AUA or whatever their names are, or America, or United Arab and all that. What will you do? That time you are gone. Another 200 years, another 100 years, 50 years, that will definitely happen. So yes, now I understand what our captain was trying to say. The decree. Please listen, I'll be back.
Rural land management grants a land use right to the operator. There are other important innovations. For example, it is stipulated that regarding rural land, it is not possible for a foreigner to have a property title on rural land. This will allow the state to manage the land well and ensure that land management can support economic development.
A decree which provides for the adoption of the nation's ward. Since June 22, 2022, a law has been adopted concerning the status of the nation's wards. Who wants minor children? Of our FDS members and public agents who have fallen in the line of duty to be taken care of. Regarding health and education, so the implementing decree further specifies the conditions. So it is in accordance with these two texts, the law and its implementing decree, that the decree from this morning was indeed adopted for 255 children. What needs to be said is that before this decree, there was an initial decree that facilitated the adoption of 67 children who are wards of the nation. There was a second decree that facilitated the adoption of 263 minor children from the FDS, the nation's wards, in 2024, and the current decree that concerns the adoption of 255 children, and the third project.
The Transitional Legislative Assembly has adopted a law, the law regarding local content in the mining sector. This law enshrines a number of provisions and the references to the adoption of regulatory texts. So, the two decrees that were reviewed under the Procurement Ministry, the mining laws focus on the implementation of these references from the law regarding local content in the mining sector. In this regard, an initial decree has been reviewed and concerns the establishment of conditions and mechanisms for implementing subcontracting and co-contracting and the provision of goods and services in the mining sector. For this decree, it should be noted that the Council has decided that from now on, there will be a licensing system for subcontracting and the provision of goods and services in the mining sector. The Council also decided that the provisions of this decree be followed to the letter so that this sector is no longer the charter kept of a category of individuals and legal entities. So to renew, the sector will be opened up to allow other companies to compete for contracts that are carried out in the mining sector. The decree will also allow for the priority use of goods and services that are provided or produced locally, with a particular emphasis on the implementation of all provisions in favor of Burkinabe companies. As for the second decree, it also aims to implement a provision of the law regarding local content in order for local jobs to be established in the mining sector, particularly through the setting of a number of quotas. From now on, quotas will be established and will prioritize the use of the potential that we have at the local level. Next, for this decree, it also aims to set the rules that allow for the development and transfer of technology in Burkina Faso, particularly through the priority use of expertise in this sector. This decree also aims to establish the foundations for technology transfer, particularly through the rules, the facilitations in terms of style, and also in terms of learning in the middle sector.
A decree establishing criteria for classifying firearms as either military weapons or civilian weapons. This means that in this area, there are so many weapons circulating, both military and civilian, which makes it difficult to enforce Law 030 of 2021. From this decree, any weapon whose caliber is greater than 7.65 and anything below that caliber is considered a civilian handgun. There are also other provisions that classify handguns as either military weapons or civilian weapons. Other than the caliber, notably the automatic firing, the magazine or cylinder capacity. So this is a provision that will clarify everything when it comes to the use of handguns, whether civilian or military. It's certain that the current holders, the exporters of handguns, supposedly civilian before, particularly the 9mm, special provisions will be made for the management of these weapons, which are circulating weapons that had been considered civic weapons.
Families, you heard it all, including the mining. I'm happy that they will look after the orphans and all that. Already they do. I know they do look after them. Those, the heroes that has left us, their children, their family. That's one of the priorities of our president. Why? Because he himself is an army. He understands the situation of his colleagues, and yes, I will call them his colleagues because he's still working in a military way. So he understands the situation. This will motivate them. This will encourage them. There was a song in the, oh, I wish I kept it. When I come out across it again, I will. That one of the Nigerian has sung, or Malian, for the army. And he says that, please, when I'm gone, look after my family. When I'm gone, look after my family. I have sacrificed my life for this country. The only thing I'm asking from you is to look after my family. Uh, wow. And it was touching. I don't know why I left it out. So yes, they are doing everything they can to look after the families as they should. And this is the news about the land and the mining. The mining, they went into details yesterday or 2 days ago. I will be back to give you that news later. Families, I will leave you here. God bless you all, my returning families, my VIPs, my kings and queens, my queens and kings. Thank you. God bless you all. My new family members, thank you so, so much. I mean, my new subscribers, you are part of this family, and I'm grateful you decided to subscribe to support this channel. You are welcome. My name is Mamri, by the way. Thank you. I will see you soon. Bye bye. I'm coming back with another news on farming. See you.